AJ, I want to go right to you first on IKF not scoring on a fielder's choice that gets him just in time because Will Smith initially had his foot off of home plate and then got it down just in time. There are many people, many Blue Jays fans, very upset. Apparently, he's gotten many threats. That always sucks. We don't condone that at all.
Don't do that ever, people.
No, but he kind of said that this was justified because the team was asking for him to be extra careful in this scenario. I'll give more on the back end, but I do want to give your take on when you see where he's positioned, which we're showing right now, and that small lead and the lack of a secondary. Is that not the difference between them winning this game?
Well, I thought he should have been a little bit farther off. First of all, the fact that Miguel Rojas had to back up and backhand this ball, you're normally safe on that if you have a good lead. And if you're going on contact, okay, like he was because the bases were loaded, you're going to take a step on a line drive no matter what. Everyone says freeze. Everyone takes a step, okay, no matter what, because the ball's hit, you're going on contact, boom, you take the step. And if it's right at an infielder, you're going to be out anyways. So you got to just live with that if you're the team. Now, he should have been farther off, but I want to talk about what the Tigers have done, and the Rays do this also. Gary Varsho. Dalton Varsho is a left-handed hitter, okay? The Rays and the Tigers, they always say if you're a runner on third, be in foul territory. They have now moved their runner into fair territory for two reasons. One, it eliminates the pickoff throw, and IKF says, I didn't want to get picked off by Will Smith. I can almost promise you in this situation, Kratz, 99.9%, Will Smith ain't going to try and pick you off here no matter what. Because he ain't taking the chance of throwing it away and losing the World Series. I can't see it happening right there, okay? And then the second thing is, if you move into the field of play, it then forces the third baseman to move more, and you can get off farther because the third baseman is farther off the bag. So I like this move. When it happened, and the first time I saw it, I said something about it on the air on Fox. I got a call from Joey Cora, the third base coach, and during the postseason, I got called into AJ Hinch's office, and he drew me a picture on a piece of paper explaining why they do this. So I was kind of like, what are you doing? And the chances of a left-handed hitter, especially a Varsho, hitting a foul ball down the third base line, right down the line, that one, A, you can't get in the way of, or two, that hits the runner in fair territory, are so minuscule that the positives outweigh the negatives. So I listen, was it bad base running? Yeah. Could he have gotten a bigger lead? Yes. Should he have had a bigger secondary? That's what I have a problem with. His secondary wasn't good enough, but there's also a new play that you'll see happening more and more where the runner on third actually goes into fair territory and pushes the third baseman away and eliminates the pickoff.
I'm not going to rehash what AJ said because I think I 100% agree with him. The secondary should have been better. To me, you can't slide there. That's the one thing AJ didn't hit on. You cannot slide there. The reason to slide into any base is to slow down to stay on the base. IKF can sprinter, lunge, just like you would never in that situation slide going into first base. You would run straight through that base. Does he beat it if he runs straight through the base? That's the only point that I think AJ didn't bring up, and the point that I would contest, because you can always argue does he need to be farther? Does he need to not be farther off of that base? Going on contact, I don't necessarily think you're going on contact in that situation. It's one out. To me, you're more reading it. Infield's in, because if Miggy Rowe doesn't stumble on that, let's say it is a line drive, to me, it's not all contact. It's all you're reading the ball down and you're going. You can't get doubled up on a line drive to end the World Series in that situation. I agree. But he can't slide going into home. That's my only argument. I think too many guys in general, all 162 games, all 30 teams, slide into home too many times because, we're taught no contact at home, which I think is a little misleading, and I think everybody just slides.
Also, let me ask you this question. The night before, Barger got too big of a lead and was too aggressive. How much do you think that played into the next game? They're like, no, we can't have another guy doubled up. Like, to me, in that situation, you get over-aggressive, because if he hits a line drive right at somebody and they catch it, I'm sorry, tip your cap. You're more than even if you're that close to the base. If it's a line drive, let's say right to the second baseman, Miguel Rojas picks it and clicks it and throws right to Max Muncy. If you're 5 feet, 6 feet off the base because you're going to take that one step, you're going to be doubled off anyways, right? But the one with Barger, where Barger went too far, that was first of all a great play by Miguel Rojas again. But he was maybe a little too aggressive. So the next night they're like, "Oh, hey, let's be careful on the bases," instead of being like, "Let's try to win the game." And I agree. He shouldn't have slid. He should have ran right through it.
Those plays are stuff you talk about in spring training, and teams will continue to talk about it. The teams that care. And I'm not saying the Jays didn't care or they didn't talk about this, but you just continue to talk about it. And baseball's a lot about, when you play at this level, baseball's a lot about timing, and you already see where something should be. The play in Game 6 with Kike catching it and getting rid of it all in one move without taking 2 extra steps is what got Barger. The ridiculous pick by Miguel Rojas is what got Barger. Timing-wise, Barger probably was going to be safe if a normal left fielder was out there. But you have a guy who's played third base for the World Series champion Dodgers. He's played shortstop. So you sit there and you go, the timing was a little off on that. The timing for the play for IKF, everybody, as soon as it took that long, everybody's like, that's game. The timing should be where he scores on that and he's safe, and it didn't happen.
Hey, we've told you about Huel's new Daily Greens ready-to-drink can, but also we do not want to forget about the OG.
Your favorite. You love that chocolate peanut butter flavor.
I do.
You and Kratz love that chocolate peanut butter flavor.
That's my favorite one. Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
The breakdown.
The vanilla, also good. But when they sent me the chocolate peanut butter, it's like a dessert. But it's not.
35 grams of protein, no added sugar, gluten-free for your boy, under $5 per meal, because it's
a meal replacement.
A meal in a drink. 6 grams of fiber, 27 essential vitamins and minerals. Huel makes healthy eating simple. They also just launched into Target stores nationwide. Try both products today with 15% off your purchase for new customers with the exclusive code FOUL at Huel.com/foul. Use that code, fill out the post-checkout survey to help support FT. I want to read this from a content producer named Chris Black. He said, always respect the opinions of players, former and current. Disagree with the logic here. Dalton Varsho, nearly 2,500 career plate appearances, 1,634 batted balls, 342 line drives, 58 to the opposite field, 4 to 3 base, 3 of them jam shots, 1 true line out to third base. When we say attention to detail, this is what the hard workers behind the scenes put together for these moments. He said, if the logic is protect against getting doubled up, they were protecting against something that had at best a 0.1% chance of happening. He said Varsho's hit 412 ground balls to first base, to second base, shortstop, whatever, right? 1 versus 412. So he's trying to point out also how he did the research and he posted about this. It was really good. If this is how all teams teach it, and this is a reply that he had to both IKF's explanation about the team telling him this, and then Whit Merrifield, our buddy, one of our FT hosts, Chris said, if that were the case, we would see in similar situations, similar lead distances. But when he looked at similar fielders' choices, 9th inning or later, tie, bases loaded, 0-1 out, IKF was the only guy whose secondary lead was under 10 feet. The only one. So like you said, AJ, a play maybe the day before, also a special play made by Miguel Rojas, might have made him scarier than anyone ever in that situation.
As a player, you have to also risk versus reward, okay? And here's the thing. You have a chance to win the World Series, okay? Your only thought, again, as a base runner, and I wasn't fast, but I felt like I was a pretty decent base runner because I would think about situations and try to think ahead and think about what's going to happen. You can't be scared to make a mistake being over-aggressive. And I felt like they were too worried about a play that, again, if he hits a line drive right at somebody, you could be this far off the base, okay? 2 to 3 feet. You take that one step, and you're going to be out anyways, okay? So don't worry about that. If he hits a ball that hard, then it was bad luck. But if he's 2 to 3 feet farther down the line like he should have been, then he's safe. And I agree with Whit. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. I think he could have had a little better secondary. That's the thing that probably eats at me more than anything is like he didn't have a good enough secondary. If you're going on a ball on the ground, like you have to be on your right foot when the ball hits the ground and go right away. There also was a slight pause before he went because he was so worried about getting doubled up. You can never be worried about getting doubled up on the bases.
It is so like we go over this. We go over this up here in the north with high school kids that have never played baseball before. Like it's the small basic things, and only IKF knows his intent and his fear in that moment of being doubled up. You can't run the bases. You can't run the bases with fear or uncertainty. And it's one of those things. There's so many still shots that what AJ was saying was he needs to land on his right foot and be the exact same distance as Max Muncy is from third base. To me, that's the minimum. That's being completely down the middle. You could probably be farther than the third baseman, but you have to be the same distance because the third baseman isn't going towards home. He's going to try to go to catch the ball. And so he could have a little bit of advantage getting back if it's a once in a season type of swing.
Yep. And hey,
he's not going to pick. I agree with everything Mike Petriello said right there. He is not going to pick in that situation. I've been in these situations. I've been in game-winning, series losing situations. The last thing on my head as a catcher is I am not going to throw this ball because I don't want it to go get thrown away. I'm sorry, but Will Smith doesn't pick a lot anyways. He is not a Yadi Molina. He's not a Will Contreras. They like to throw all the time. He is just going to catch the ball and try to keep it in front of him and hope the defense makes a play. So that should have been the last thing. And then I don't know, I was a left-handed hitter that sprayed the ball over. I can't think of 5 times in my career, and I had a lot of at-bats, where I hit a line drive right to the third baseman. Right? Like, if that happened, and then you get doubled up on that, you know what? Again, you weren't meant to win.
Andres Jimenez hit the line drive when he what's it called? Butcher Boy play,
Butcher Boy.
And then he hit the line drive. So maybe he thought, oh yeah, well, all lefties. Who knows what IKF was thinking? A pick from home? A pick from the catcher? No. And some people said to me, they were like, well, what if he gets a bigger lead and the pitcher picks him off?
Nope, not happening either.
Show me the video of a big league pitcher picking somebody off at third base. It's not happening.
Not in that situation, for sure.
No.
No!
And also, by the way, for all the people that harass people online, stop, okay? Stop harassing people.
No.
IKF did what he thought was right. He did the best he could. That's it. Stop. Please, we don't need that. In any sport, not just baseball. Stop harassing people. Saying, I read where IKF said people are texting him, I hope he breaks his legs. Stop, okay? Stop. Please stop.
Yeah, and also, runners in scoring position, left on base. Sucks for Jeff Hoffman. He had a great postseason up until that one point. Gives up the homer on the hung slider to Miguel Rojas, and 8,000 other reasons why the Blue Jays were about as close as can be to winning a World Series title, but it didn't happen.